change later, but we're going to get ready to do some work on Decked Out.
From the mining mesa, the helping hermit stream, mocking in the rages of their chat proximity. They plop their blocks down quickly toward their stated goal. And when y'all tune in, your laughter's uncontrolled. When the last flight brings more blocks and the fireworks go cold, hermit craft will build together, not alone. So watch with us each Monday. Remember to follow, so the chat can see you there, so you never miss a show.
Howdy, y'all. Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm realizing I don't know where my Decked Out tokens to give people are. That's bad. I have... Apparently... I need to be able to give people tokens. Oh, wait, maybe they're in this one. I need to be able to give people tokens who show up for... There we go. Okay, so, yeah, the 44 are... So I'm up to 13 personal ones, and then I've got 44 to hand out in matches. Great, great, great. Because we have some tokens to give people who help out with Decked Out terraforming today, courtesy of Vintage Beef of Hermitcraft TCG fame. If you haven't heard of Hermitcraft TCG, check out Vintage Beef's channel. He has been trading card gaming it up lately. Okay. Whew. So, what do we need for Decked Out? We need a lot of snow. We need inventory space. Inventory space is actually crucial for this project, so we don't want to have a bunch of extra stuff unnecessarily. So, let's leave one of the fortune pickaxes there. Let's leave the lime green pane there. We're going to take that. Okay, we need those. If there's any empty shulkers, those are helpful for moving snow around. Okay. That's the one that has deep slate in it. So we're going to take the empty shulkers to Decked Out. That's the fireworks one. That'll go back in here. Let's maybe grab just an extra stack of fireworks, just in case. Why do I have 2 picks? Don't need 2 picks. Don't need a wooden shovel. Okay. Cool. Shovels here. Feeling pretty good about this on the whole. No, we want to leave that, actually. This is the one we're trying to put away. Toolbox can go away. We're going to head over to Decked Out imminently. I think we're live. I also, yeah. Okay, people are saying hi in the chat. Howdy, Minecraft King. Blunding says, am I looking into the soul of Joe? No, you're seeing Minecraft through the eyes of a hermit crafter. Ooh. Ah. We are currently 20 away from our next face camera expansion milestone. Each time the camera hits a milestone, it gets larger, but also more transparent. So, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. We're going to wander this way to Decked Out. Now that I know where it is, it's crazy to think that I used to just go through tunnels to get to Decked Out when I could be flying over Scarland here. And past Green and Mumbo's bases. Is Tango on today? Not at the moment. Am I just grinding out snow alone today, or will others be joining? I have no idea. It's always more fun when others join, but Hermitcraft is terrible at committing to things and schedules. So, realistically, I won't know if others are joining until they join. Because if you tell people you need to RSVP for this, they won't. And then if you tell them, well, if you don't RSVP, you can't show up, then they just won't show up. So we don't really do a lot of hard RSVP stuff because then no one would ever attend. Okay, so we're going to put some empty boxes down here for later in case we need them. So, yeah, I think we've used all the snow up top side already. But just in case we haven't, let's verify that. That's ice, torches, snow. Yeah, so we got ice. Queen Unicorn Girl, or Queenie the Unicorn Girl. The PayPal cut for currency conversion is drastically less than YouTube. So if you have the choice to use either, PayPal is appreciated. But some folks, wherever you live, or if you don't have a PayPal, YouTube Super Chat is also fine. And I appreciate your support either way. So. But yeah, it's good for me if people tip via a variety of mechanisms. Because then even if, like, let's say something happened to my YouTube account or something happened to my PayPal account, the fact that folks are still using the other one, I'm not like, oh no, that was 100% of my revenue, right? So I kind of, it's one of those things like, even though one or the other might have a slightly higher rate or a better rate or something here or there, I'm happy for folks to contribute wherever they'd like to contribute. So. I was going to say, I turned the minecart sounds way down, so I can't hear it, but I assume it's running. I can barely hear it, but that's good. It was way too loud the other day. Oh, okay. This is the easiest part of the game. We just get to lean back and hang out. Making snow. Y'all having a good afternoon so far? We did a coffee stream earlier. I had a call with immigration attorney's office, so we finally have a consult scheduled. Unfortunately, it's 2 weeks out, but like this stuff, everything is so slow. Everything's so slow in the legal system. But I am very excited about trying to get my fiance a K1 immigration fiance visa. Blending says, I'm insanely tired, but had an amazing day. Yindivs, or Indy5 says, that's red tape for you. Yeah, it is. But, you know, we're moving at whatever pace we can. As long as we keep moving, make some forward progress, you know. It's been very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating feeling things staying still. Good day other than cleaning my toddler's mess while she destroys everything behind me. Oh, yeah, see, that's why I like when they're small enough that you can strap them to your chest so they can only destroy things in front of you. But yeah, I miss being able to carry around my kid. Like, we just, you know, I take her to the grocery store and just have her strapped to my chest on the walk over there and the walk back. Don't even need to put her in the cart when I'm there. I can just get a basket and carry the basket around. It's like once they're mobile on their own, that's when you start having real trouble. Because it's like, I could take her on a 5-mile hike fine when she was strapped to me. But once she's a toddler, trying to get her to walk 3 miles was just like, ugh. Luckily, her legs are longer now that she's like 10, so we can go on big hikes again. But yeah, there's kind of a few rough years in there. Even if I went to the gym, I don't think I could carry my kid around these days. Okay, so we're just going to make plenty of snow for decked out. Got a lot of terraforming to do here at Tango Tech's Decked Out 2. I always come up with silly names for the Citadel, but they're not silly enough. Like, I feel like they don't sound like jokes, they just sound like I got the name wrong. So, like, if I called it the Frostbit Citadel, people would be like, no, Joe, it's not the Frostbit Citadel. So I need to be like, we're at Tango Tech's Frostbit Rivendell. That sounds like maybe that's an intentional joke. Yeah. I don't know. I'll keep brainstorming it. We got some time. Now my kid is old enough that she can carry the shopping basket for me. Good point, Cordial. Yeah, a lot of times I have her push the cart. It's like, here's something you can be responsible for. It's not that I can't do it, it's that I refuse to. Some people are saying Frostbit Rivendell made me laugh. Awesome. Somebody else suggested just call it Tango Tech's Igloo. Yeah, we're here at the Decked Out 2 Electric Igloo. Decked Out 2 Eclectic Igloo. What are the names? Decked Out 2 Ravager Igloo. There's something here. There's some joke there. The Sinister Snow Castle. Welcome to the Warden Snow Cone. Yeah. Molter says, oh, I didn't expect the Big Joe head. Well, don't worry. It won't stay this size for long. We're only 20 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. Tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Centauratron calls it the Elsa Goth Phase Giant Castle. Elsa's Goth Phase Giant Castle. Elsa's Goth Phase Giant Castle. Da, 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 da. This is just so relaxing. I hope you all are enjoying a nice, relaxing stream. Not every stream is going to be high-speed hijinks. Sometimes it's just going to be... Oh boy, hold on. There's a joke here. Shovel bits and chill? No. I don't know. We're having a cool, chill afternoon stream. You know, I've been thinking about it. I was watching Taskmaster. I just finished Series 2 with my fiance on my lunch break. Because we started watching that after seeing Joe Wilkinson and Ramesh, who was in Series 1, at the Comedy Store in London when I visited. And so we started watching Taskmaster. We finished Series 1, pretty good. Finished Series 2, pretty good. And I'm thinking that the next time we restart the season, which will probably be sometime in 2024, I think my next starter house is going to be based on the Taskmaster's house from the show Taskmaster. I feel like that would be a fun starter house project in Minecraft. Because it's an iconic and recognizable house. But it's a simple enough design that I feel like I could do it. Yeah, the shovel is pretty low. Let's swap it to the next one. I feel like it's simple enough I could do it. But it's iconic enough to be recognizable to the people who watch the show. To people who don't watch the show, though, it still just looks like a nice house. Also, let's make sure that we haven't overflowed our storage here. I have no idea how we're doing on storage. Okay, we're not. So with one shovel, we've filled in 6 out of... So 3 shovels would basically fill the storage, is what I'm learning. I have not seen the stage show that was the prequel to Taskmaster. But yeah, I'm really impressed with Alex Horn's work on the show. It's just brilliant stuff. And so, yeah, building the Taskmaster house in Minecraft and then trying to come up with stuff. Also, I kind of want to build the stage from, do I know how long the season's going to be? It's going to run until at least next year, probably. So, I don't know. 8+ months would be my assumption. Shelly says, Joe, how much to see this screen properly? Well, when we're $20 away from the next face camera expansion. The Joe opacity is currently at 42%, I think. Let me check. Yeah, we're at 42% Joe opacity now. It'll drop to 32 with the next milestone. But I don't know what you consider seeing the show properly. There's nothing to watch, really. It's just me crying snow here. Wah, wah, wah. You want to see the snow. I don't know what's so compelling about the snow that you're like, I gotta see the snow. But another thing I've been watching a lot of, so I've been watching Taskmaster with my fiance, but when I'm just doing stuff around the apartment, cleaning and whatnot on my own, I've started binge watching 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. And so I kind of want to make an 8 out of 10 Hermits Does Countdown stage. But when I'm looking at that, I'm realizing, like, that's like its own whole thing. I don't have a place to build it in that makes sense, because it doesn't go inside the pinball machine. It doesn't fit inside my Elvira's House of Horrors, so I'd have to build the outside and the inside of a building. I don't know. Is 8 out of 10 counts does count cat 8 out of 10 counts does cat down? Yes. Does 8 out of 10 counts does cat down get filmed in an iconic building, or is it just like a super boring building that happens to have a sound stage in it? I have not researched this. But yeah, so I'd have to build the inside and the outside of the building, unless I just put it in a cave somewhere. Which is another option. I could just go into the lush cave at the donut and be like, this is our 8 out of 10 counts does hat down. It's just a random Channel 4 studio, says Shelly. Just a TV studio. Yeah. So if it doesn't matter what it looks like from the outside, I could just go build it in a cave somewhere. And then lure 4 hermits into there. But, like, I think, you know, you could just do it with minecart dispensers and maps with the letters on them, I guess. Moulter says it's filmed at BBC One. Oh, really? It's not Channel 4? I thought Countdown was, like, one of the shows that, like, launched Channel 4. Did I misread that? Maybe I misread that. Alex says, would it be worth it to expand the storage rate at the snow harvest machine? Not really, because I have to babysit this thing anyway. Because the experience throwing thing that fixes the shovels isn't, cheap, I guess. It's easier for me to change the shovels out every so often than for me to keep putting experience bottles in there. Winter 83 says, I like the show. I have no idea where it's filmed. Yeah, okay. Al says, I'm old enough to remember the launch. Okay, so yeah, definitely launched with Channel 4. And Shelly confirms. Okay. But yeah, I really like the idea of 8 out of 10 hermits does countdown. And like, I don't think, like, the thing is, 8 out of 10 cats does countdown proved you don't really have to change the formula, right? I would have to write some jokes for some of the anagrams and stuff. But I feel like it basically works as is. I need to build some redstone dispensers with minecart hoppers for the, Okay, so we're about... Oh, yeah, I forgot I put a bunch of those in there. Womp womp. Wouldn't be very PG, though. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, though, it can be as PG as the comedians want it to be. Or as PG-13 as the comedians want it to be. I don't know. Alex says, I was wondering if anyone would prefer a storage system that could store 5 to 8 shovels worth of snowballs. I don't think anyone really has the patience to be here, or to sit here, though. That long. But yeah, I feel like... Yeah, so I would have to come up with my own anagrams for, like, the countdown conundrum. Or for the station breaks, where it's like... The clue is Cleo, you know, your letters are Cleo Flesh. And the clue is blah, blah, blah. And then the answer was, of course. So that's the other thing, is I feel like I would be, I would have a hard time. Hold on, I can say this without a British accent. The answer is, of course. The clue was blah, blah. The answer is, of course. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like there's something to... There's a way to make it work. I feel like, unfortunately, in order to make something like that work on Hermitcraft, if I built the stage, I would have to be the host, though. I couldn't, like, find somebody else to host it. So I get to... Because it'd be more fun to be the Joe Wilkinson character, where you're just messing around. Or I'd like to be the Susie Dent of this. But realistically, I feel like if we did it, I'd have to be the Jimmy Carr. Good evening, Clandink, all the way from Pennsylvania. Yep. Countdown is a show all about numbers, letters, and conundrums. Okay, so I think if we want to move our shovel where we'll... Let's put our shovels away so we can find those later. Oops. And we'll put these away for now. Because normally snowballs don't make it that far back. You could trade around the hosts if other hermits would be more interested in hosting than playing. That's the thing, is I'd have to talk to the other hermits to see. But I really feel like... Because Scar has had some really cool ideas for doing more, you know, encouraging us to do more activities on the server. He wants to set aside an area. In the past, he did something, I forget what it was called. But there was this district off the shopping district that was like, for like B-Dubs' barber shop and like other stuff like that. Where it's like more goofy interaction type stuff rather than like, this is a shop. So if another hermit wanted to build a theater that I could build a countdown set inside of, that would be a good collab. Aquatown. Aquowo Town. That's right. That's right. But yeah, Scar had this great idea for Aquatown a while back. A few seasons ago. And it'd be interesting to see something like that this season, too. Would non-Brits be familiar with the shows? Probably not, but realistically, the show is about anagrams and 4 operator mathematics, or arithmetic. Adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying are pretty common across most of our viewing audience as life skills. So I feel like... And most people who watch the show speak English. So as long as the viewers had some English language familiarity and basic arithmetic, I think they'd enjoy it. Hermitcraft is only on YouTube. Hermitcraft is not on the BBC NJ. Impulse made a set in the industrial district for his Monty Hall problem shorts. Maybe you could build a... The thing is, his industrial district is supposed to look like a circuit board. I feel like that's not maybe what I'm going for. I don't know. It's also kind of out of the way. I don't think people want to fly all the way to Impulses for something like this. Do-do, do-do, do-do-do-do. I could hire Etho to do note blocks of the countdown theme, which has like a real ticking clock element. Secret level of decked out. Welcome to level 5 of decked out. I hope you're prepared to make a 9-letter word out of the following consonants and vowels. Yeah, they had one guest on the show who went to Oxford. And they're like, so do you think you're going to be pretty good at this, having, you know, graduated from Oxford and all? And she's like, well, it's not like the professors would assign us an essay and I'd come back and say, here it is, I've used all 9 letters. So, no, not really a transferable skill. Could I repurpose any of the King's Challenge area on the nether roof? That is an area that we're not using very aggressively. I feel like somebody had an idea to do something with it, but maybe not. I don't know. I feel like somebody was like, nobody mess with it. I want to use it for something, but I don't know who it was or when they said that. Or if it was before or after the King storyline. It might have been that Ren said, guys, I'm going to build something there. Don't mess with it. Boy. This is why I'm very frustrating to work with, because I'm like, oh, somebody said something about something marginally related to that at some time. But what was it? Al says that would be a cool TCG arena. Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know if that was what it was, but that's not a bad suggestion. That could be a neat TCG arena, yeah. What constitutes a soundstage? Would it be a replica or just a stage where you could have the show? So I think I would want to do it as an homage to... So the show countdown does have a really iconic layout to the stage. And so there are certain elements of that layout that I would want to definitely build into my set design. But I don't think... I wouldn't want to do it like block for block exact scale model. It would be more like, here is... If somebody saw it, they would go, oh, that's like the countdown stage, but in Minecraft, right? They wouldn't go, that's a perfect replica of the like, it would be an adaptation. Or an interpretation. But, like, the general arc of the... there's, like, a long counter that everyone sits at. With the exception of Rachel Riley and Joe Wilkinson. Because they're kind of in their own, like, area for the maths. But there's a... Alphys asked if I've been considered for another show. I don't know if I have been. I don't know how to find that out. Like, if you were like, you know, are the Yankees looking at picking you up this year? It's like, well, you know, I had a good season. Hermitcraft Season 9 is going pretty well, but, like, you know, if you want to know if the Yankees are considering me, I'm probably not the guy to ask. Because I'm not really inside baseball in that way. if you're like, Joe, I heard that they're making, there's a new Broadway musical. You know, are you being considered for a role in that? I have no clue. I don't know what people are considering me for roles, and that's not my job. That's their jobs, and I'm going to assume that they're doing their jobs, so I don't know. But, like, yeah, I can't answer that question. Hey, we got a tip rolling in from Gerard for 10. Thank you very much, Gerard. That is going to put us 10 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. I realize that that's a little bit low in the frame. There it is. Boom. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if George Costanza can work for the Yankees, I don't see why I can't. Another option would be the minigame district. Oh, I always forget we have one of those. Because, like, the minigames this season, we kind of used a few times. We had them for the big charity stream, and then again when the Empire's people, we did a big Monday minigame thing. But Yazzie says, Joe, I like your warden head. Thank you. Let's put this block away somewhere. Nope, not there. Nope, not there. There. Okay. We did it. Ask Zed. He has game show experience in... Oh, Zed would be a fun game show host. Yeah, I don't know which hermits would like to play Countdown. I feel like Asuma would definitely say no. Asuma's not big on those sorts of... Because it's definitely a very different skill set than being good at Minecraft, right? It's knowing anagrams and knowing 4-operator math. So I feel like Cleo would be good at it. I feel like a lot of the other hermits would be like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Sounds too much like work. Impulse likes Wordle. Yeah. That's a good point. Cub, I bet, would... Cub and Etho would probably... I could see Cub and Etho being actually really competitive at Countdown. I think Cub and Etho... Cub, Etho, Cleo... So the thing is, we have such a small group here that, like, some of the people I'm thinking of... Zed and Ren. Zed if he's not hosting it. Yeah, that's the thing is I think I would have to host it if I'm going to get it off the ground. I don't think somebody else would want to host it. But, like, the thing is you do need 2 co-hosts. You need the math co-host and you need the dictionary corner co-host. And then you need their assistants. Because, like, the seating... So you've got the overall show host, which would be me probably. You've got 2 team captains and 2 players. So that's 4. So we're up to 5 people total. 1 host, 4 players. Then you've got dictionary corner co-host plus assistant. So we're up to 7 people. Plus the maths area plus assistant. So basically it would be a 9-person recording. Oh boy, getting 9 hermits together is very difficult. That's a challenge in the best of times. And I left the snow down there, didn't I? Yep. Okay, doesn't look like any other hermits are here yet. Doesn't mean they won't show up, but let's go ahead and spend 5 more minutes making snow just in case other people show up, because if we actually do have people show up, we're going to burn through the snow really quick. Indy5 says that's almost as bad as Among Us. Yeah, yeah. Dark says, can someone fill me in on what this is about? Sure. Hermitcraft is a multiplayer Minecraft survival server. It's kind of like an artist's collective where every year we rent a different event space and we all do sculpture and painting and other art, some performance art, some acting, some dance and music, all sorts of different work, some electronics, engineering. Except like metaphorically, instead of doing this in an event space that we build each year or rent each year, we spin up a Minecraft server and we play on it for a while, and then we make the world download available to people and we move on to the next one. And each artist has kind of their own worldview. We're from all over the world. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, but we have people from as far away as northern Tennessee, like Wells Night, and also like Pearlescent Moons in Australia. We've got Beef and Etho and Gemini Tay up in Canada, eh? We've got Doc M77 in Germany, Iskal and Corrales in Sweden. We got folks from England, like Zomba Cleo, Stress Monster, Full Symmetry, Grian, Mumba Jumba. We got Ishwama. We got, I don't know, a bunch of people from all over. It's like a bohem, but online in Minecraft. Yeah, that's a lot shorter, Molter. Thank you, Molter. Okay. Let's make sure that we've got this pulled up accurately. Yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. Dark says, okay, that's probably the best explanation of Hermitcraft I've gotten so far. Well, that's because you came to the best explanator. Explanderer on the server. Oh, boy. We're just mining snow. Wow, that's some unnecessary, obnoxious, like, what do you call that? Spamming of emotes. Explanator. Good news, true believers. We've got Joe Hills with us, the Explanator. Gotta keep my caffeine level up. Okay. I started hiding the taskbar in Windows because I don't need it like 99% of the time, but then I need to know what time it is. The 1% of the time I need the taskbar is to know the time. And I'm like, oh, I have a watch on, but like my wrist is chroma green right now because I'm not wearing my tank top. I'm wearing my green shirt. I don't know where my green tank top went. And that's... it could be anywhere. Some parts of my apartment are as organized as they've ever been, which means everything else is a mess, where the things that didn't fit anywhere else got piled up. So... oh well. Womp womp womp. But yeah, we got about an hour left in the stream. Okay. So let's go ahead and turn that off now. The real fun of working on Decked Out isn't making snow blocks. It's placing snow blocks. Dun, 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 dun. 16 snowballs in a block. I guess there's actually... no, there's 64 snowballs in a... whatever. Molter says you and Cleo's match was hilarious. Yeah, I hope you all check that out on Cleo's channel. I had a bunch of problems. Just this last week here in Tennessee has been particularly demanding and challenging. And I'm still not through everything. I'm basically playing catch up from last week still, so including my editing, including like I had to contact 3 separate attorneys today. 2 of them about immigration stuff, 1 of them about custody stuff. It's just like so yeah, I'm glad that Cleo got her video out so y'all can see our match. My video will go out soon, but like I was looking at like how many hours are left in the day today and how many obligations I have to my child today and what my stream schedule looks like, and I'm like, this video is not going to get edited by tonight, especially because the replay mod render I tried to do yesterday failed, so I need to figure out a different ending for the episode, which is annoying because I already recorded the voiceover. I was going to do this cool spinning around the pinball machine, like video rotation, long distance shot or whatever. And I had this cool monologue to go over it to close out the video and read a poem over, and it's fine. But yeah, I've got to... The video is further from being done than I thought it was. And I didn't think it was very close to being done. NJ says we're still talking later. Yeah, presumably. Unless we get arrested. I don't think we're likely to get arrested. But we are going to a protest at the state capitol. So, we'll see how it goes. Okay. Yeah, 16 snowballs is a very odd stack size. Yeah, because the high school and colleges did a protest during the morning session, and there's an evening session that's gonna gavel in at 5 that the principals are encouraging the elementary school students to attend. They did not want the elementary school students walking out at 10 o'clock this morning with the high schoolers, because that would have been a logistical nightmare for people in charge of 5 through 11-year-olds. So, yeah, the whole thing is just a lot. What is the protest abdominal muscle? I don't know what that means. Can I describe the failure of the render? Yeah. It was missing a bunch of the chunks that we didn't fly over correctly. And then even without that problem, it also had a buffer overflow like 90 seconds into a 2-minute. Oh, it's about. What is the protest about? There are a lot of people who are upset about some students and faculty and staff getting murdered at a school here in Tennessee last Monday. And they would like to encourage our legislature to do literally anything about it. Because the initial response from the legislature was not really our problem. And people are like, well, you wanted to be elected to represent us, and we would like to see literally any action taken to demonstrate that this is something that you know, maybe we find unacceptable and want to prevent in the future. And the legislature's just like, you elected us because we know better than you. And we don't want to do anything about this. And so people are deeply unhappy with the legislature right now. And, yeah. Oh, you want your representatives to represent your interests. No, 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 no. That was a mistake. We see why you're confused. Yeah, so yeah, when we went to the vigil, there was a citywide vigil last Wednesday. I hope that's not important. This doesn't go anywhere, does it? Yeah, that looks like it might go somewhere. We'll leave this for right now. But yeah, when we were at the vigil, the closing prayer explicitly invoked a receptiveness and acceptance of change, because clearly what we're doing isn't working. And I feel like that's a very solid point. It's like, there's a saying, we've tried nothing and none of it worked. So that's kind of like the state actually was very keen on making it easier for people to buy large amounts of weapons earlier in the legislative session, and people are like, maybe we could dial that back. Smarty Paint says, I'm in Texas as part of a community that lost 10 people in 2018 to a school shooting, but it's hopeless here to get any type of gun laws passed. Yeah, I mean, whether or not something is, a lot of stuff feels hopeless until all of a sudden it doesn't. And you don't know if you're in a watershed moment or not. You know? Here's the thing, is you got to ask yourself, okay, even if the government doesn't do a better job because thousands of students showed up today, was showing up today still the right thing to do? I think making the attempt has a value. I think that demonstrating has a value. It literally, I think, demonstrates a value. It demonstrates a community-wide desire for change. And it helps connect the people who are at these events to each other. And it's the sort of thing that they're going to be thinking about. They're going to be chewing on this. They're going to be trying to find workarounds. Even if this problem can't be solvable right now, how do you start slowly building momentum and how do you start, small on stuff like this? And sometimes just getting two people to talk to each other who wouldn't have otherwise can be the start of something huge. I feel like to some degree, participating in stuff like this, even when you feel like the outcome might be relatively predictable, is an act of faith in a belief that a better world is possible. Even if these actions will not directly, traceably, immediately lead to a better world. Even if you're like, oh, the politicians won't care if we show up or not. There are entropic opportunities. Entropportunities? boy, I wish I had thought this. This is not a speech I've prepared. This is not. And opportunity sounds like such a funny word, but basically, okay, if you do exactly what you would normally do on this day, and you're upset about nothing changing, you not changing anything about your routine isn't generating any more entropy. Like think about the word agitator. Think about like the idea of an agitator is to shake something loose, right? Like going out there and saying, we're not happy with how this is being done, and we're going to get together and make that point together. You're agitating for change. And you don't know what's going to shake loose. But I think it's a powerful statement for people to come together and say, we believe a better world is possible, and we're willing to take time out of our day to be a part of making that statement. So, you know, that's the sort of thing that I think students should be encouraged to attend. And like, Nashville definitely has a history of folks standing up for their beliefs in the civil rights movement. And a lot of that stuff, people felt like, oh, this is hopeless. This is never going to go anywhere. You know, there were a lot of people who didn't believe that the South could change. And you know what? They were definitely right about there being a lot of inertia for systemic racism, because all of the positive things about the civil rights movement haven't completely washed away the long-term negative impacts of slavery or racism or whatever. But massive amounts of quantifiable change also happened. Like, even if you don't get perfect equality out of your civil rights movement, getting closer to it is pretty awesome, right? So, like, you know, when people are like, yeah, there's a lot of momentum here for the way the state does things, I don't know if you're going to see the changes you want to see. I feel like we show up and we try to get the changes we can, you know? Anton Staff tips 5 and said, or no, sorry, not 5, 50, who says, thank you for showing up and helping others understand why it's important. Well, thank you, Anton Staff, for supporting the arts and my show in particular. That's going to get you 3 face camera expansion milestones, because we were 10 away from the next one. So here we go. Expand Jost. Do. Lowering the opacity now to 32%. Numero dos. Even larger Jost. And lowering the opacity now to 24%. Numero tres. Expand my face. And lowering the opacity now to 20%. Wow. So there we go. But yeah, it's worth showing up, even if you don't know if it's your time or not for these things to change. You can't know, because the tipping points for these things can be very subtle. And so you show up, and sometimes you're early. Sometimes people are like, looks like the world isn't ready yet. You know what? Well, you still got to meet a bunch of other like-minded people and be reassured. If you're sitting alone in your apartment going, man, there's a lot of inequality in this world, it's a shame nobody else seems to care, you're gonna have a harder time than if you're like, wow, I went to a protest and there were a lot more people there who felt the same way I did than I thought. You know, if we all keep working at it together, we'll get there eventually, even if we don't get there today. It's not healthy to sit alone at home angry about the world. It's good to be out in the streets with other people angry about the world, because that's going to be how stuff gets done in the long term. That's it. There's a saying in computing that may... I haven't seen this saying applied to social stuff, but let's just take a second and step back. There's a saying in computing that we tend to overestimate our progress in the short term and underestimate our progress in the long term. Like, when you ask somebody who's working with a technology, oh, where do you think we're going to be in 18 months? Their estimate is almost always rosier than it actually turns out to be. But if you ask them, where do you think this technology will take us in 10 years? They almost always underestimate it, right? So, like, okay, we got people in Nashville who are mad right now, who are out in the streets demonstrating, showing up at the State House and, you know, demanding our representatives do something. And if you ask me, what do we hope to get done in the next year and a half? You know, what's plausible? What I say might be a massive overestimation. But that doesn't mean that where I think we'll be in 10 years wouldn't be an underestimation, right? Like, it's all of this stuff you don't know. But you show up and you do what you can. So, I don't know. I'm kind of going on, but anyway, NJ, so yeah, I'm going to try not to be arrested later. So yeah, and as long as I'm free from chains, I will be available for our planning call. This is a very long answer to a very simple question of, hey, are you free at 7 for our call? Sorry. Dang it. That was further down than I intended. She says, I guess we'll find out later if you need bail money. Well, I just took all that money out of the retirement fund for the immigration lawyer, so I guess I could dip into that if I absolutely had to. Colonel Coffee says, when are you free? Oh, yeah, somewhere between 7 p.m. and 20 years. Nice one, Colonel Coffee. So, oh boy. Oh, that's an interesting one. So we're going to have to go up higher here. This is going to be a weird one, having that calm down like that. I feel like maybe this should then come up higher even. You know, like that claw should... So this way, if somebody's looking at this from over at Brian's here. Let's see what they're looking at. I mean, this is going to need a refinement pass. This is not done. We are not making a complete terraforming effort today. We are making a rough pass that somebody else with a better eye can improve in the future. And I think that has a value. That's the other thing with all this stuff. Like, you know what? If you're making a little bit of progress, it's better than making no progress. And even if you're getting some things wrong, if you're learning from your mistakes in the meantime, you're going to be better equipped to deal with stuff in the future. Okay, so we broke up a few of the lines there. Let's see how that looks. Don't forget the occasional random powdered snow. Well, Not at the moment. Okay, that somehow I made that look worse. I did not think that was going to be possible, but this is worse now. Okay. Whatever. We'll deal with it later. That might be better again somehow. Whatever. One thing I haven't worked out is exactly how this bit's gonna go. This bit's extra a mess. I don't know. Going around here. Okay, we're gonna bring this one up too, I think, quite a bit. Getting some snow blocks out. Oh wow, there's still a lot of random places where we need snow blocks here. Like that one. There's that one there. Nope. Wrong. There we go. Fixing that at least. Well, the thing is, we're not trying to create problems for future Tango. We're trying to make Tango's life easier. So Tango doesn't have to stress out as much and can just enjoy working on the dungeon. So, yeah, I haven't solved this perfectly, but... Yeah, and I didn't really want to interact too closely with this bit here because Tango seems like he's got something he's doing with the tuff and the blackstone there. Oh. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect immediately. I think what I need to do right now, though, is just focus on getting some snow in around the feet of these things. Let's just get some, like, outlines here and see how we feel about them. Okay, that's a weird one to get that under there, but... That's a future... Tango has a joke he makes about making problems for future Tango. No, that's fair, but, like, the thing is, nothing here... I'm not trying to make problems for future Tango. It's fine for me to make problems for future Joe, but the goal is for future Tango to look at this and go, wow, that actually turned out better than I expected. I was worried about asking for help because I thought I would end up having to babysit you guys so much that it was a waste of my time. But no, this was really helpful, y'all. Thank you. Alex says, I'm surprised Scar hasn't joined on the terraforming project. I think Scar has another commitment this time of day. But I'm not in charge of his stuff, so... Whoops. Okay, so this part here gets interesting, because that seems to make a... Oops. I need a worse shovel for this. My shovel isn't terrible enough for this part of the project. Okay. So you need to have a hill that kind of goes up in there. Yeah, Scar's also doing a lot of terraforming for his own Scarland project. My pinball machine doesn't really have that much terraforming to it. I mean, I'm doing a lot of digging, but I'm not doing a lot of placing of terrain, right? And so sometimes, so this is a break for me from, like, the obligations of my day-to-day projects. Whereas for somebody who's doing a lot of terraforming back at their base, they might not want to do this as, like, a side thing. I get it. Part of me kind of wants to just follow this down. But that there, we're going to have to come out around that. At some points, you're going to need to make creative choices about where the snowdrifts need to make sense and where the walls need to make sense. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Also, how are we for time? Because I do have to get my kid from school in about 20 minutes. Cool, cool, cool. If you're enjoying the stream so far, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. I think it is me and Beef right now. Nope, false. And by false, I mean I was incorrect. I do like how close everything is. I didn't realize how close all this stuff was to over here until I turned up my render distance. Okay. While that loads, let's go ahead and check on the news from downtown. Wait, what is this about? Oh, yeah. Well, that's no good. Tennessee Republicans have stripped 3 state reps who led peaceful pro-gun protests in the well of the state capitol of their committee assignments and may try to expel them entirely. I'm pretty sure the Tennessee... It's either the Tennessee Constitution or the House bylaws explicitly protect minority lawmakers from expressing... Basically... If somebody in the chamber is expressing the feelings of their constituents, even if it's not popular with the majority, that's protected speech that they can't be punished for. But this sounds punitive. So we're going to find out how much Tennessee likes following its own rules. Okay. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Democratic Representatives Justin Jones and Gloria Johnson are being told they can remain on the dais of the Government Operations Committee but can't participate. Jones and Johnson tried to make points of order. Chair John Reagan gavels them down. When members in crowd protest, he threatens to have the room cleared. More than a dozen state troopers congregated outside the room. Hubba. Wow, very interesting. Hey, Kendrasite, welcome, Raiders. Sorry, my state is going bonkers right now, so I'm just reading Twitter while I'm terraforming. Let me fly around. Kendrasite Raiders, thank you for coming in. I am helping my friend Tango Tech with his project Decked Out 2. Tango built this magnificent castle and is working on a dungeon inside of it. And myself and some of the other hermits appreciate his efforts, and we're helping terraform the ground around it. So you see this snow here. I'm helping place the snow. Tango Tech did the castle. Very impressive, beautiful castle. And the snow, though, that I can take a little credit for. I put in a few little lakes here that are frozen. So the last few weeks, I've mostly been working on the other side here. And this side's looking a lot better than it was. I probably should... You know what? Let's fill in some patches over here now that I'm looking at them. I'm like, how did I miss this part? I got caught up. I probably just ran out of snow one day and was like, oh, I'll finish that later. It's later now. But, yeah. Just getting some stuff in here. Woo. But we want to make sure that this looks good, because this is pretty centrally located. Our friends, the soup group of Impulse, Pearl, and Gemini Tay are right over this way. Ooh. They got their little soup valley here. And, you know, we don't want them flying this way and being like, oh, look, there's Tango's beautiful castle with terrible terraforming all around it. Nope, nope, nope. So we're filling this in. We're getting the snow on the ground, making it look good, so that Tango can focus on building the dungeon and the minigame underneath. The last time Tango built one of these decked out minigames, it kept like the whole server busy for months. It's so fun. Tango is a brilliant game designer, and we're very lucky to have him. Let's see. Do I have more snow down here? Yeah, let's grab some of that. Okay. Let's see. We are $10 away from the next face camera expansion milestone. So if you don't like the opacity, it's going to drop when we hit the next milestone from 20% to 16%. So tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Okay. Hack the Gibson says, will there be a third stream in the evening? Yes. In theory, yes. I don't know what I'm going to be streaming, because I streamed Hermitcraft for 3 hours before, and we're getting another 90 minutes in now, so it's 4.5 hours of Hermitcraft already today. So on some level, I might just want to take a break and play some pinball. But on another level, I might end up being like, uh-oh, replay mod stream. Although I think I'm done. I think I'm basically done with replay mod at this point for this next episode. Like, if I can't make it work with what I've got, I should just make the episode anyway. Like, I've been spending so much time in replay mod for this next episode. I need a break. So I don't know what tonight's stream looks like, is the short version. More of a coffee person than a tea person, personally, Sarah. I've got some digestive problems, and I get very sleepy after I eat, so I need a lot of caffeine to keep functioning. Amanda says, that's exciting. Can't wait to see what it's like. Tonight's stream, it might be like me being tired. Actually, depending on what we see at the Capitol today, it might be me recording at the beginning of the next Hermitcraft episode. So episode 60 is the one I'm trying to edit now, and I haven't started recording 61 yet. So I might be recording 61 with some thoughts based on what we see. But then again, there's always the chance that my kid will get out of school and be like, I'm too tired, I don't want to go anymore. It's like... But this was kind of the, But yeah, so they organized an elementary school-friendly protest outside the Capitol after school because they were worried about the high schoolers were all walking out during class. And they didn't want elementary school students doing that. So they're like, we're going to make an elementary school-friendly protest after school. And so it's like, if you kids are good, your parents will take you to this one. Please don't walk out of school at the age of 6 and march down to the Capitol like your teenage brothers and sisters. So the whole thing, honestly, I don't know what to expect because I've never seen a protest at the state capitol organized explicitly for elementary school students. So, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. And what's crazy is the kid's principal is the one that emailed us this. Because, I mean, you know, the kid's principal will be in trouble if a bunch of 5-year-olds through 11-year-olds walked out of school in the middle of the day. And obviously wants parents to help make sure they're discouraged from doing that. But, like, just... I can't remember ever seeing a school principal at the elementary level encouraging kids to march on the Capitol. Like, that's pretty wild to me. So, like, that's one of the reasons that when I'm saying, like, you know, I don't know if this is one of those turning point moments. Maybe this is... Maybe it is and maybe it isn't. But, like, I'm seeing stuff happening that I haven't seen happen before. And that is encouraging that maybe change is possible. Hajan Twish says that's normal where I live. Oh, I don't know where you live, but that's cool. I guess, like, yeah, if you live in France or something where that stuff is more normalized. Germany, gotcha. Okay, it's getting dark, so we need to go to bed. Lay our heads down and dream. Okay. If you're enjoying the stream, tips are welcome via paypal.me/JoeHills and YouTube Super Chat. Gen5 says, haven't caught a stream in ages, loving where you are in life. Watching you keep your positivity when your daughter was young and you had another job was inspiring, but you seem happier now. I don't know if I'm happier now, but I'm healthier now. Like, my chronic health issues, I didn't realize, like, I felt like on a certain level, because my doctor had told me that stress was making my stuff worse. And, you know, but what was I going to do? Not go to work? You know? But at the beginning of the pandemic, when I stopped having to commute to work, all of a sudden my health got drastically better. Because commuting, the stress of driving was just causing me huge amounts of problems, which I suspected. I knew that, like, okay, I feel worse on days where I have to drive and stress about city traffic and stuff. But, like, I didn't know how much healthier I could possibly be if I stopped, because I didn't really stop. You know what I mean? Until the pandemic hit. And then after that, when I was able to leave my day job and go to this full time, all of a sudden my health got even better. And I was just like, wow. Like, this is way... I thought that the ceiling on my health, because, like, when you're dealing with a chronic digestive problem and the doctors are just like, you know, do your best to manage it, but you're going to have to deal with this the rest of your life. You're just kind of like, okay, I'll do my best to manage it. I guess I'm going to deal with this the rest of my life. Whatever, I believe you. And you don't know what the ceiling is on how well you can do when you don't have the opportunity to take a break, right? And all of a sudden it's like, wow. Wow, I'm definitely... But yeah, so I'm definitely healthier. But, like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but, like, when I think about whether or not I'm happier now than I was then, I was a lot more delusional then than I am now. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I certainly felt a lot happier then. A lot of it was based on believing lies other people told me, though. So, but, like, I feel like I objectively felt happier because I believed them. So it's like, arguably, it's better that I'm less delusional now. But, I mean, I was pretty, I would say I was a lot happier 5 years ago, even though I was drastically less healthy and drastically less successful. But I was more optimistic and generally felt better about things in just general. So, whereas now it's like, I'm like I'm getting a lot more done now, and I feel like that's good. But I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to surpass my happiness level from back then in the next few years. I think, but, like, right now, for example, I'm very unhappy with the immigration system in our country, and it's deeply upsetting to me. I spend a lot of time being deeply upset about things like the fact that our government makes it so hard for my fiance to move here, right? Like, I'm spending a lot of time being upset about our leaders here in Tennessee dragging their feet when a bunch of children were murdered in an elementary school last week. Like it hasn't been a particularly happy week. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just particularly unhappy the last few days, and that's making me answer this in a more aggressive way than is necessary. I know you don't mean anything by this, but I was a lot more optimistic a few years ago, and that made it easier to be happy. Now I'm just like, but like I said, in the long term, it's not good to be delusional. It's not good to believe stupid lies that people tell you, even if they make you feel happy or good. And so I'm going to come out ahead in the long run, but yeah. Just not there yet. That's okay. Emmett says, that's my entire experience of getting older summed up. I don't feel happier, just less stupid. Well, I'm glad you feel less stupid, Emmett. I'm definitely feeling wiser. And I'm hoping to convert some of that wisdom to happiness in the next few years, but yeah, it's yeah, we'll see. We'll see how far I get. Okay, so filling in some of this with water here might make sense. This is kind of a low-lying area. Oh, there is water in there. Oh, that's interesting. Let's maybe dig that out and terraform into that. Yeah, we can turn this into a bit of an ice lake here. Bloop. Well, thank you for being understanding, Jen. Because, like I said, sometimes when people ask me questions where I get a little bit negative, they think that I'm like mad at them, and so I appreciate you understanding that that's not the case. It was a totally fair question or assessment. But yeah, just it's one of those things. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, boy. Oh, we're run. Oh wow, we've used all the snow. I didn't expect to use all the snow. Okay. Oh wait, no, there's a little bit left. How's this looking? Oh, I mean though, this is way better. This is objectively just a massive improvement, and it's such simple work. But it's just making everything look good. Okay. 247. Yeah, I need to wrap up. So thank y'all so much who came out to the show tonight. I know I didn't technically say that the last time I called for tips would be last call for tips, but it turns out it was because I need to go and get my kid from school. So, I hope y'all had a fun time hanging out with me. I had a fantastic time hanging out with y'all. We're just gonna drop some last minute snow in here. Uh-oh, even the sun is setting. Oh, there's my alarm to tell me to end the stream if I haven't already. I'm working on it, alarm. I'm working on it. So we're gonna lay our heads down and dream. And let's see who we can raid. Thank you again to Kendersite for raiding earlier. And any Kendersite raiders who came in, thank you for joining us. It looks like Shelby is going to be playing Witchcraft SMP, aka Shovel. And is going to be killing 100 withers there. Now that's some sort of crazy modded SMP. I think each of the witches has a different mod that they use at twitch.tv/Shovel. So when you get over there, our raid message is, howdy y'all, Joe Hills raid here. Like I said, I need to go get my kid. So until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Do 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 do.